and musicians. It's a Jaws cast.
Woo! Jaws cast.
Today we're going to talk about Jaws. Get ready. If you can't stand a chomp, get out of the podcast room.
Here we are, honey.
Here we are.
This is the first episode for Our Real Relationships.
That's right. Welcome to our real relationships.
If you're watching video over at youtube.com/ApatheticEnthusiasm, you might notice that our banner says Real Relationships. It's because we didn't want to put our on the banner. It's just extra work.
But we will, because there is another podcast called Real Relationships. But it serves a couple of purposes this week because we watched Jaws. And what do you pull in a fish with?
That's right.
A real relationship.
How many times did you think of real relationships this week and think, oh, it's a fish pun?
Just now, actually,
okay.
was the first time.
As I was working on the graphic for the video, I kept seeing real relationships and the shark. And like, damn it!
Look at you
Damn
putting
it.
two and two together. Not me.
No,
Not me.
Not you. Well, you
Who'da
did.
thought?
Well, you as soon as you saw the fish in the
I did, but only because I can see the background, the Jaws background, and it says "real" right above it. And I'm like, oh yeah, like fish. I get it. I get it. What if we had a fish-based podcast where and it was called Real Relationships?
It would be yeah.
That's an amazing idea for someone.
Yeah, it would be kind of boring for us.
Yeah, but whoever wants it, you can have it. I won't even sue you. Not feeling particularly litigious today.
No, good word today.
Thank you.
So you are joining us. I'm Brandon Cruz.
I'm Chelsea.
And this show is all about our relationships with film, our relationships with each other, and the movies that really kind of define all of what we care about in the world.
But we will touch on some movies that don't define them. Some of them are going to be wackadoo. It's just, we love to watch movies no matter how good or bad they are.
That's right. Because every movie, as Joe Bob teaches us, has some redeeming factor because it is made by people who have feelings. So
and those people worked hard.
Yep. Whether it was shitty or not.
That's right.
There are a few places you can find us now. We are on the social medias. You can find us on Bluesky. We're at Real Relationship Pod.
Oh my goodness.
Or something like that. At Bluesky.social. And then we are on Instagram, Our Real Relationships. So go ahead and find us out there.
Find us.
We'll be there posting.
You won't be sad.
If you're listening to this, you obviously know that you are listening to a podcast. If you're watching it on YouTube, you're doing that. But tell a friend if you like the episode after it's done. Maybe not right now, but after.
Yeah, don't tell your friends right now. Wait and see if we suck yet.
Yeah, but Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So go check it out. Chelsea, what are we watching today? I don't know if we know.
Okay, well, I think as we can tell by your shirt, if anybody can see your NoFX Jaws themed shirt, we watched Jaws. Due to it being the 50th anniversary of Jaws. So it came out in 1975. I did not realize it was the 50th anniversary. Also did not realize it is labeled I don't know, unofficially labeled the first blockbuster.
Yeah, because we talked. I'd always heard that. I always kind of assumed that. I don't know why. It's just always there. But yeah, we talked about it with Dexter of like why is it called a blockbuster?
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe it's because it's like one of the first movies that like went around the block. The line went around the block. It
makes sense to me, and I didn't even bother to look it up because I accepted your definition.
Okay, all right. Well, that's the definition, and if you ask any historian, they'll just refer them to us, and they'll know.
Before we get into it, though, Brandon has mixed us some Jaws-themed drinks. They're blue with a little bit of red in them, like blood in the water. Why don't you tell us what's in these Jaws-themed drinks in case anyone wants to drink a Jaws drink?
Sure, yeah. It is a blood in the water, shark tooth, hoo-ha-ha. But it's a margarita. It's got blue curacao in it, and then some Luna Azul tequila, and then other stuff that goes up, some lime.
Looks like there's grenadine, maybe.
Grenadine, a splash of OJ to give it a little citrus, And there you go. And salt on the rim.
Salt on the rim. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Happy Jaws Day.
Hey, Actually, it would have been good to put tahini on the rim because that's bloody looking.
Yeah, get that
Damn.
spicy bite.
Damn.
Give it a little bite.
Next time. Next time.
Next time we watch Jaws, which will be next week's episode.
Jaws 2.
No, just Jaws 1 again.
Yeah.
So I think our first section, I'm calling it Ya Basic, where we talk about all the basics of the movies. We already mentioned it is from 1975, directed by Steven Spielberg. I think everyone knows that. Starring Roy Scheider, got Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw, Lorraine Gary as the wife. Her name is Ellen. Not a lot of people reference her. And we got the mayor played by, somebody.
Oh, I forget him. But he's in a Twilight Zone episode, One for the Angels. I think it's like episode 2.
His name is Murray Hamilton. He plays the mayor.
There you go. In the episode, he plays Death, but whatever.
In this one, he plays the death of the people on the beach.
Death of a sales shark.
And we got the shark named Bruce.
That's right. As we already mentioned, it came out in 1975, directed by the great Steven Spielberg. You can look at any podcast or any book about Jaws, and they'll tell you all the facts and trivia. But I think Chelsea's going to randomly quiz me.
I will. I'll throw some in there.
This episode.
Like this. So Jaws, I didn't know, was based on a book. Who wrote that book?
Peter Benchley.
Peter Benchley. And he also wrote a bunch of other shark-based books. But the book is, from what I have read, not the book, but from what I read about the book, there's some striking differences between the book and the movie. Namely that Mrs. Brody, Ellen Brody, and Hooper, Richard Dreyfuss's character, have an affair.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that storyline.
No. And I've not read Jaws. I don't think you have either.
No.
I would probably skip those chapters. And then also,
are you assuming it's chapters? So many chapters, just a real steamy love affair.
Well, I don't want to get too deep into Jaws. It's like kind of an ocean thing, whatever.
One of the things that I love about Jaws so much is how much you love and relate to the characters in it, and that would just make me not like people in it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the characters real fast, right? So, obviously, Brody is the man. He is the man.
Mr. Roy Scheider.
Yeah, the great Roy Scheider. Like his relation. Obviously, he's the protagonist throughout the movie. His relationships with, his wife,
his kids,
his kid,
Cooper,
his deputy. Like,
yeah, it's so endearing.
Yeah.
All of it.
And he's one of the things that the scenes I like a lot with him in it is he's so confident when he's like on the land, and then when he's on the water, he turns into, like, you can see
he's like a little
insecurity.
kid.
He is so insecure about what he's doing on that boat.
That's true.
Even like the interaction right before Quint's speech, and he's just like, he's kind of like, look, I'm fitting in too. He's like, he looks down at his
before the big speech, the big Indianapolis speech.
Yeah, he looks like down at his stomach as they're talking about their scars, and he's like, yeah, I've got scars too.
I know.
And then
he wants to be like play with the big boys.
And then he's like laughing. He's like, yeah, oh, what's that one? Like he's trying to be a part of the conversation, and he just happens to be like, what's that one?
He's a bummer.
That's the bad one. He's the Debbie Downer.
Wow.
I love that he can portray both of those aspects, the confidence and the insecurity.
I see him randomly in some movies, and then I'm like, oh, hey, Roy Scheider. But I could not tell you a movie off the top of my head that Roy Scheider is in.
All That Jazz.
You're right. He plays Bob Fosse.
Yep.
Fosse.
I've never seen that movie. I just know Jazz Hands.
Can you name, here's a trivia question, can you name another Spielberg movie that Richard Dreyfuss is in?
Oh, was it that one about Mr. Holland's Opus?
Oh, so close.
Oh, damn it! It's like in that
Double or Nothing.
Richard. Oh, yeah. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the ship, when it comes down, it even before it plays, it's bum 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 bum. It goes bum bum.
Oh.
Does a little Jaws there.
I didn't know that. I've seen that movie once.
That's a little fun bit.
Yeah, it is a fun
little bite. A little bite for you. We're gonna say bite 17,000 times during this.
Talk a little bit about Brody. What other characters jump out to you? Like,
Well, I love Robert Shaw. I don't know if I should or not. I don't know if there's anything really awful and controversial about him, but he is such a Looney Tune in this movie. He says the craziest things, so many non sequiturs. He's just off the wall crazy. And we watched this movie without subtitles, which also I'm not a fan of. I love a subtitle. And you kind of need that with Jaws because he makes so many little comments way in the background and he's just saying the weirdest stuff.
yeah, I always like, oh lordy do,
Farewell and adieu.
sweet lovely lady, or whatever.
The ladies of Spain.
Yeah, those those songs.
But also he talks like this through a lot of it, and I kind of really understand what he's saying unless you're listening. And I like it. And I'll catch a shark. You catch that every once in a while.
As he's eating his ginger crisp.
Is that what it is? I just kept thinking it was one of those brown croutons from Chex Mix, and then he keeps putting it back in his pocket.
Oh.
But it makes sense if it's ginger because he's out on the ocean a lot.
I just kind of always assumed it's ginger because I get I get seasick.
That makes sense. I wonder what it is.
Yeah. We should look. If you know what it is, please send us.
Let us know
message
what
on
Robert
social-
Shaw eats in Jaws.
Because we're not going to look it up.
I'm not.
That's your call to action. Yeah, no, he's lovably crazy. A lot of people they always compare him to Ahab. Do you think that is just something that was
It's because it's the only other fish hunter people know.
Old Man in the Sea?
Yeah, he reminds me of the old man.
He reminds me of Spencer Tracy.
He reminds me of someone who has been on the sea a little too long, to be honest, and he's probably doesn't deal with people very well. He's also dealing with some serious PTSD from being in the military and going down in the water and seeing 800 of his friends eaten by sharks. So he's got a couple of screws loose. I was going to try and think of something boat related, but I couldn't.
Yeah. The Kevin Bacon movie.
Screws loose.
I know. I wonder if Benchley had intended him to be like an Ahab parallel, because what is it about him, Quint, wanting to get this shark so bad that he's gonna smash the radio? Like Dexter's why did he smash the radio?
Mm-hmm. I think it's just because of the trauma from his Indianapolis speech, seeing all of his friends die by shark attack, and so now he's just got this personal shark vendetta. That's my take.
Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense because earlier, right before they sail out, he's boiling up the jaws.
He's got them all over his wall.
Yeah.
If you look in his little hut there, they are everywhere. Shark jaws.
He clearly doesn't like Shark Week.
Hoo-ha. Oh, but speaking of Shark Week, let's get this out there right away.
Yeah.
As we said before, we're going to be doing some charity work, little bits here and there. And so the charity for this particular week is Shark Trust.
Shark Trust.
Hoo-ha. It's so hard. It's so hard not to.
It is so hard every time you say sharks. So Shark Trust. This is we talked about doing charities for all of these movies, and we wanted to pick a charity that had to do with sharks and saving sharks. Peter Benchley himself said that he regretted the fear that he made people have of sharks. Even though he made
demonizing the sharks.
Yeah, even though he made a shit ton of shark books.
He did, but one of them is in the last 5 years, and it's about shark conservation. So I think he does a lot of shark conservation work now.
Okay, so he wasn't eaten by a shark.
Not yet.
I feel like Jaws: The Revenge should be about killing Peter Benchley.
Benchley's comeuppance.
Anyway, so the Shark Trust, you can head over there and check it out. Donate it if you want.
Sharktrust.org.
Save some of these wonderfully old and majestic creatures who, I'm scared to death of them because of this movie, but I shouldn't really be.
And right now, just this week, actually, the 22nd to the 29th is Big Give 2025. So if you donate, they will match your donation. We're going to be donating $50 because it is the 50th anniversary of Jaws. So you're welcome, Shark Trust. Not everybody is going to get $50. We're not made of shark money.
We're not made of shark money, Shark Trust.
But we will be. It's too. We can't pass it up. $50, 50th anniversary.
Yeah, we'll donate a shark tooth, maybe. Ooh, ha ha. Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard.
Anyways, so Shark Trust. Okay, we talked about Brody. We talked about Quint.
Mm-hmm.
What about Hooper? How do we feel about? Like, I guess part of me wants to put aside how I feel about Richard Dreyfuss.
Oh,
in general.
How do you feel about Richard Dreyfuss? Let's unpack it.
I feel like he's kind of a diva. He's
in real life, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think he still was when he made this movie? Was this not his first movie? Or not first, but one of his first?
It might have been one of his first. What was
IMDb? Clock it.
Not Kramer versus Kramer, because that's
no. You mean the one
Gone Girl? No, Baby.
Lonely Girl, something girl.
Gone Baby Girl, Gone.
Richard Dreyfuss. I'm looking it up.
The movie where it's
The Goodbye Girl.
The Goodbye Girl. Yes.
Yes. Let's see. His very first of all, he was born in 1947. If anybody cares about that,
I do.
Let's see. First movie. Oh my gosh, I have to go way back. Brandon, vamp.
Okay. She's heading way back to the first movie that Richard Dreyfuss was ever in. Not Mr. Holland's Opus, which is a good movie. He's a good actor. That's the thing about Richard Dreyfuss is I do think he's a good actor. But he's like a persnickety old man, I think, is what he is nowadays.
Well, I'm not going to say his first movie because there's little teeny tiny parts that he did, but his first big movie was another Steven Spielberg movie, American Graffiti. Is that not? That is also Steven Spielberg, isn't it?
No, that's not Spielberg. That's George Lucas.
You're right. You right. George Lucas. I confuse them. They both have beards.
Yeah, George Lucas. I don't remember if Graffiti was his first one or THX 1138 was his first one.
American Graffiti was George Lucas's first one.
Okay.
Anyway. Now I'm second guessing everything I'm saying. People are going to fact check me left and right. Do it, you guys. Do it.
By the way, folks, we're figuring out how to do this podcast. We're figuring out what our dynamic is. But we know that we know a whole shitload of references of movies and directors
but none of it's accurate. It's all a little off. It's like we're all in the little misfit department and Wall-E where those little robots gone wrong.
Oh.
We know facts. We're all just a year off for every fact.
And then I say something wrong, and then Chelsea comes in and sweeps it up. She's like the little robot that sweeps things up.
Oh no. Wrong.
So Hooper.
But I think that he was, I don't know what his role in the book other than he slept with Brody's wife. That sucks. But in the movie, it's imperative because he's the only one that knows about sharks and you can understand what he's saying. Quint knows about sharks, but he's too loony to fully pick up all he's putting down. And Brody's scared of the water, so he's not shark savvy. Mm-hmm. But then we get the young, rich scientist kiddo coming in, and he knows a lot about it. So that's where we get our exposition.
And he rapidly becomes a friend to Brody.
Mm-hmm.
Which, side note, he's not in any of the sequels. That's kind of odd, you know. But in this movie, he is a friend to Brody, becomes a friend rapidly, and is the one that they have a kinship where they go together. And it's like, hey, Hooper shows up to the house after dinner with a bottle of wine, and is like, this is how I know that the shark that you guys caught is not the shark that killed that little boy.
Right. And Quint knows it too, but no one wants to listen to him. Because he's got pocket snacks.
He's
now, side note, Brandon will put pocket snacks at work. He'll have pocket almonds or I don't know what all he keeps in there in his shirt pocket. Not even his jeans pocket, in his front shirt pocket. He'll pull out a snack.
I don't want almonds near my
It
nuts.
automatically makes anyone who pulls a nut out of their shirt pocket, you lose a little bit of credibility, maybe, from your audience.
I mean, maybe, but when we went to Lowe's earlier, I had a bunch of pocket
No,
jelly
I
beans.
know. I noticed you were pulling stuff out of your pocket. I didn't even ask you what they were. I just thought, oh, he's got pocket snacks.
Pocket jelly beans.
Pocket jelly beans. That I wish I had known that now.
Yeah, I would have given you one.
You didn't offer them.
Yeah, well, I
You're
didn't think
selfish. You're a selfish pocket snacker.
Quint didn't offer any of his pocket ginger chews either.
I don't know what was in his pocket. I'm gonna go croutons. I'm going croutons. That's what I would keep in my pocket. Croutons.
I do like the relationship between Hooper and Quint, like that city boy versus a fisherman's wharf.
Yes,
like that competition.
City boy versus wharf man.
Yeah,
That sounds like a good movie.
Oh shit!
Who's made that movie?
Like the classic scene where Quint chugs that can of beer, then crushes the can, and Hooper has the styrofoam cup of water.
I don't even think it's like one of those little plastic ones from the dentist that you get the little mouthwash in.
Yeah, that's so good. And like they you know what? Maybe I'll take a kind of a sidestep. Like the relationship between the three of them, they all kind of start kind of like maybe not Brody and Hooper, but the Quint and the two of them. They start kind of like antagonistic, but by the end of it, they do reach that bonding.
I didn't see it in the subtitles, but I went through the quotes after the movie and the part where they're all comparing scars. And Hooper, Richard Dreyfuss, takes his shirt or opens his shirt to show a fake scar that he has that some lady had given him for breaking his heart. I guess Brody right there says, "You're wearing a sweater. It's like you're wearing a sweater," about his hairy chest. And I just love that. It has such great... There are so many fun lines in this movie.
Yeah.
One that I noticed this time that I never had noticed before was somebody was complaining about all the kids have been karateing the picket fences. The police secretary comes in and she's like, so-and-so called, the kids have been karateing the picket fences. And I just love that the subtleties of that kind of thing get me.
Yeah, and like the subtleties of like commentary in the background, right? There's people, and I don't have any good references.
I got one.
Now, but like people in the background, like just kind of yelling comments, and especially like when they're on the docks and they're like loading up the boats to go hunt the shark.
Yes. There's one where Ellen, Mrs. Brody, says, she's in the background. She says to someone, "When will I be considered an islander?" And then the lady she's talking to is like, never, you don't live here. You're not an islander. And then the other one is when they're finally having the meeting about what are we going to do about this shark? And one of the guys up on the panel makes a joke. Is this going to be cash or check, this bounty on this shark? And some lady goes, "No, that's not funny at all. I just don't think that's funny at all."
Yeah.
Little things like that. I love it.
I love those things. They give such life to a movie.
Yes, exactly.
They make it not feel like a stage play, or it gives a certain sense of, what is it, verisimilitude.
Ooh, I like it.
To what you're watching.
That was even better than litigious. That was so many syllables.
Yeah, it's that the 3 film classes I took.
A part that we both giggled at was when Brody goes to the store and he's getting stuff to make a sign and he spills the paintbrushes everywhere. He reaches for a paintbrush and he spills the whole canister of paintbrushes. It's so, why is that in there? But it has to be. It has to be in there because that's real life.
Yeah, because he's panicking. He's like, we got to do this. We got to shut down the beaches. Talking about like those moments that make the movie, it has life and it feels realistic. I think what is great about Jaws is, yes, there is like the kind of like adventure music that is the I always get diegetic and non-diegetic confused. But like the music that is like, it's a John Williams stuff where it's like
the diegetic is actually in the actors or the characters hear the music.
Okay, so like the diegetic music, as far as like in the background, you have like
the beach radios.
Yeah, the carnival music, like the jaunty bum 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 bum, which I think John Williams did all that extra like kind of carnival jaunty music too. just like for the movie.
That should have been in my basics.
I'm not totally sure about that, so don't quote me on it. But like that's super cool too. And depending on where like the camera's looking and which character the camera's looking at, that music is either louder, it's softer, it's not heard at all.
But you pointed out that it's a little bit distorted sometimes too. It kind of gives it and it's probably when it's showing Brody, it keeps cutting between Brody and the beach and Brody and the water because he's watching, he has anxiety and it's very suspenseful. And so the music, whenever it's on Brody or whenever there's a suspenseful scene, the music is a little bit off, like a music box that's a little out of tune.
Yeah. And one thing you pointed out was, you probably remember which scene it is, but towards the second half of the film, probably quarter of the film, where they're actually on the boat, and the shark attacks, there's no music during one scene.
Yeah.
Right? Which one was that?
I don't know.
Well,
but I remember thinking it.
Because you were listening the entire time, like, and then you said there was no music at all during that part.
I can't remember if it's like during the scene where Quint dies.
50 years. That's our cutoff.
Rick and Morty. I can't remember if it's that scene where there's no music for the majority of that scene. And then after it wraps, then there's some music. But I also read somewhere, because one of my favorite scenes is when Brody first sees that shark. He's got that cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Mm-hmm. And I read somewhere that the way he made that face, and it's like, relax all your face. So it's like, relax all your muscles, and then relax them even more, and then lift your eyebrows. Like, and like he had a whole process for making his face just look like, oh shit. Yeah. His oh shit face is what I call it.
His oh shit face. So one thing, we talked a lot about characters. We've watched.
One more thing about characters. Yeah. I wrote this down, but I think this about Robert Shaw because he's such a badass. In almost everything that I've seen him in, he's a badass, and you kind of want to be friends with him. But also, if he talked to me like in a bar or something, I'm like, ew, get away. He's also very creepy.
But he is also very the one moment in this film where he is like our grandpa, your grandfather specifically, and Brody.
My grandfather is everybody's grandfather.
Brody gets scolded by Hooper about like pulling the wrong rope, and Quint very like kind of like fatherly and paternally is like, hey, just ask me which one.
He yells at Hooper first, like blah 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 blah, and then he just quietly turns to Brody like, next time ask me which line you turn. Then he just line you pull and crosses his legs and goes back to what he's doing, and it's just like
eating his chips.
That gruff love with his croutons.
It's such a little caring moment that
it is.
Yeah, he's not all bad and crazy.
No, he did. But when he's even teaching Brody how to tie the knot, and he's like, and the eel goes into this, and it comes out the hole, and then he goes, not so good as a chief, because he ties this terrible knot. It's just really sweet.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, the wonderful characters. And I know I said we're going to move away from characters, but obviously, the scene that always like just really gets your heart as a parent.
Do it. We can't not talk about it.
Is when Brody and his little boy are at the table, and his little boy Brody is so upset, and his little boy is copying every movement.
It's precious.
And he goes into, then Brody then like realizes it, and he's taken out of his sorrow, his being upset, because
little kids can do that for you.
He's experiencing that little boy and the kid that he loves, and it's like, fuck, man.
I know what other movie has a moment like that. None that I can think of. Whenever I see that scene, I think this is the only movie that has that scene.
Yeah, if there maybe Schindler's List.
Those soldiers were just doing what they were told. That's different than copying your dad. But
that's it.
he was just like, oh, my little boy is looking up to me and he wants to play. And life is serious, but I also have to play with my little kiddo. Yeah, that scene is so heartwarming.
Well, speaking of kids, when we come back from the break, and I'm introducing a break right now. I don't know if we'll have ads, but I'm gonna introduce a break right now. Anyways, here, we talked to our oral Dexter, young Dexter, about the movie. So we're come in back in, introduce that after this, which is now. We are back.
So when we decided, we did ask Dexter if he wanted to watch this movie with us. I think what sold it was that I handmade on construction paper, because I am 12, bingo cards. But instead of bingo, they were Jaws. And since there's only 4 letters in Jaws, you don't get a free space in a 4x4
No.
Jaws card.
No.
Dexter accidentally got a free space because I repeated on his Jaws card. I think it was the POV shot underwater. I did a repeat. Incidentally, Dexter won. So I don't know if it's we could call shenanigans on it, but we had things on our Jaws cards such as a shark fin. Someone yells shark. Hooper talks some science. Quint's Indianapolis speech, blood in the water, things like that. So Dexter won. And which brings us to a little segment that right now we're calling, I don't know, either PG-13, while Dexter's 13, we could call it that. But this movie was not PG-13, it's PG.
That's right. And we did talk about doing a bonus episode instead of having it on this episode. But
let's just throw it in.
We'll just throw it in. We'll just throw it in. This is a little bit of this little taster.
Yeah, we'll do the we'll yeah
for wording.
This is a teenage boy talking about Jaws. We sat down with him and discussed some Jaws things with him. So maybe we'll put a little bit of it here and then we'll post the whole thing separately.
That's right. Right here.
All right, tell me when you're ready. Count me in.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay, so today we're going to talk with our special guest, Dexter, about the movie Jaws. Dexter, hello.
Hello.
First question, Dexter, how does it feel to have such cool parents? Is it confusing to you? Do you feel like the luckiest boy? Take your time.
Okay.
Not too much time.
I do think it's very cool to have some of the coolest parents. Because I get to watch movies like the ones we're talking about today, which is Jaws.
Mm-hmm. And had you seen Jaws before?
I do not think I have.
If you had, it was just maybe little bits and pieces there.
Yeah.
So overall, what did you think?
I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Okay.
And I understand why it's popular.
Like how many chicken buckets would you give it?
Chicken buckets. Out of how many?
You know, like
However many chicken buckets you want.
That's right. How between 0 and how many chicken buckets you would want to have?
0.5.
Okay, a 0.5 chicken bucket.
Out of 1.
That's pretty good.
And now we're done.
There we go. That was so fast.
So we'll do it as a bonus episode of the whole thing. If you or your kids are interested, I think just kind of sitting there and listening to Dex talk about the movie at first, and we talked about him about recording after he was a little nervous.
Yeah, he did okay.
But you could tell he started to pick up and okay, yeah, let me elaborate on things a little bit more.
He said he would recommend it to kids his age.
That's right.
Get your 13-year-old straight. Make them watch Jaws.
It's
the 50th fucking anniversary.
Tell your fucking little kid. So I think what we have to do is keep making games for him so he'll want to hang out with us
Yeah, that's what we will do. His mom.
Yeah.
Mama loves some games.
Unless I make it a like a challenge to him, and then he'll be like, "Oh, I gotta beat Dad."
I don't know what movie that we could watch next that he'll even want to watch. But I was kind of surprised that he hadn't. I'm sure we had shown him Jaws when he was like 4 or 5, and then he didn't remember it. So I don't know. I was kind of surprised that he didn't see it more because you and I have seen it so many times.
So many times.
What is he doing? Watching YouTube? Get out of here!
Jaws is on my list of comfort movie watches, just because it's like it is so just kind of even keel and relaxing.
That's
Damn
a
it.
boat term.
I didn't mean it. But it's there. I could just put it on. So we got a couple more things we want to talk about Jaws. We got some details, maybe some games, more trivia.
I do have a couple questions for you.
But
What are you going to talk about first?
I want to talk about Jaws, the video game. There are 2 Jaws the video games. The first one is for
Of
the
course you
Nintendo
do.
Entertainment System, which I still want to beat someday. And then the other one was like a Jaws where you actually play as Jaws.
You better get at it. You're running out of. Well, you got to break out the Nintendo. What are you waiting for?
I'm doing a podcast with you.
Oh.
This is more important
Should
to
we
me.
pause it so you can go beat Jaws?
After this.
Watch Brandon beat Jaws in real time.
This game sucks. Actually, it was fun. It was one of those LJN games that actually was decent. Anyway, you got a couple things for me, Chelsea. What do we got as far as questions go?
Oh,
And be sure to play along if you're listening to us on the road, or in your home, or in a boat, a glass bottom boat.
I'm on a boat. Well, okay, but these are really hard. I had to look because some of the questions were too easy, even if you haven't seen Jaws. And the question is, what kind of animal is the main threat in Jaws?
Man.
Oh, deep.
Is that right?
No, it is not. It's a shark.
The most dangerous game. Sharks or man?
So for some really hard trivia, what kind of knot does Quint have Hooper make for him to see if he can be a seaworthy fellow?
Damn it! I remember that line. Damn it! I don't remember. It's like a sailor's knot or something.
It is. It's a sheep shank.
Sheep shank. Yes.
Sheep shank knot. That was the hardest trivia I found.
Yeah.
Other ones I think you'll know. What's the name of Quint's boat?
Orca.
The orca, indeed. What's the first shark that they catch? What kind of shark is it?
Shark.
It's a tiger shark. What is the license plate number? No, there's a license plate in the shark's belly. What is it?
What state is the license plate from?
Ooh, that's a good question. Do you know the answer? It's some kind of swampy state, like a gulf, like Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, something like that.
Louisiana, I think it's Louisiana.
Oh, now you don't know?
Yeah, now I'm trying to pretend like I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, and what's the name of the little kid that dies? So the first real death is that poor naked woman, and she just gets totaled. Man, that shark is not messing around with her.
Yeah, and what sucks about that chick who
she's a hot body.
She is so hot. She is on the image of the box art.
She's at the top of our screen here.
Yeah, she was just trying to get some strange.
Yeah. He's like, what's your name again? As they're running out to see. It's Chrissy. Of course it is, Chrissy. Go get in the ocean. Which, by the way, the ocean at the beginning when she jumps in, I'm like, this makes me want to go in there. That was a good marketing ploy for the ocean.
For Amityville.
I was like, that looks beautiful.
Amity Island, not Amityville.
That's different.
Was it Billy?
Oh.
No, not her name.
No, I know, but I don't remember what the boy's name is.
Sorry, I thought you had the answer. If you have the answer, please send us the answer. What other pieces of trivia? Oh, here's a question for you, Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
What convinces Ellen Brody that the kids should get out of the boat
Oh,
on the
I
dock?
love that part where she's like, let him be in his boat. And then she sees this book, and it's all these really awful illustrations of sharks attacking boats up near the shore. Get out of the boat. I
You
love
heard your
that.
father? Get
I
out of the
love
boat.
that. Well, here's a question. How many Academy Awards did Jaws win? I won't ask you which categories unless you guess correctly.
At least one.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
For score.
It did win Best Original Score, correct.
I don't think Spielberg won for director, did he?
Not as far as ChatGPT told me.
No, yeah. No, is that what other ones were there?
There were 3. Best Film Editing
Okay.
and Best Sound, in addition
Okay.
to Best Original Score.
Okay.
It was nominated for Best Picture, but it lost to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh,
We should watch that next.
Jack Nicholson.
Indeed.
Best editing. That's a cool kind of segue into. Everybody knows that there were so many problems with Jaws, which is honestly, I think, what made the movie so good. A lot of people think that's what made the movie so good was because Bruce was breaking down all the time, and like they were trying to figure out how to like get ocean scenes done, where like the boat is on the ocean or on the water and going up and down. A lot of these different like kind of malfunctions. They had to strategically edit that movie into making it into what it was. And obviously like it's with us still. We're talking about it now 50 years later.
Yeah.
But at
who
the
knew?
time everyone was bitching about how awful that movie was to make.
And honestly, the first time you see the shark, it is, to me, I know it's a mechanical shark. It's still scary as hell.
Mhm.
And it's because it waits so long. All right, here's my last trivia question. So Steven Spielberg does have a little cameo in the movie. Where is it?
Oh, I don't actually know.
It's a voice cameo.
Oh,
What?
is it like what, like on the radio?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the Coast Guard on the radio.
Oh,
Oh, Steven.
Oh, Steven. You know, you're a BFG in my book.
What a oof. That's
Ooh.
maybe we'll watch that movie. If we
That's-
make it to our thousandth episode, then we'll watch BFG.
BFG, the movies that we don't like, but we will talk about anyway.
So there is a website that's called, I think it's called Does the Dog Die? So that you can go to this website and see
Pippin.
before you watch the movie if an animal dies in the movie.
Poor Pippin.
And I always forget. I see the doggy in the movie and I think, oh no, I'll probably remember now, but I think, oh no, surely they're not going to kill that dog. And at least they don't show it, but good grief. Come on. Steven,
Yeah, come on.
what do you have against dogs?
Come on. What do you have against dogs and little girls in red dresses? That's the second Schindler's List reference.
Oh, okay. Gosh, you are really, I'm not watching that movie. That's too sad.
It is. A
Let's
good
try and
movie.
keep it a little bit lighter than Schindler's List.
Okay, all right. Saving Private Ryan.
For our next movie, actually, I was thinking of Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh, that's a fantastic.
But do you think
movie.
2 horror movies back to back, even though it's a comedy horror movie? I don't know.
Well, let's quickly talk about that. You asked Dexter.
Oh, you made these drinks so strong.
Oh, shark tooth. Hoo-ha.
Oh, this one's empty.
Do you consider Jaws a horror film?
Yes.
Why do you consider it a horror film, or why do you think people wouldn't consider it a horror film?
It's a horror film to me because it's bloody. It's fairly gory. They have the part where they are going through a book of actual shark attack injuries.
Mhm.
Those scenes,
Oh,
those
shoot,
pictures
yeah.
are
Like
crazy.
his calf is just like ripped
Yeah,
open.
I think
Yeah.
both of us out loud when we were watching that movie were like, "Jeez Louise, that's a bad picture."
Yeah.
So yeah, I would consider this a horror movie. It makes you scared. It makes you fear going into the ocean. It makes you fear sharks. There are jump scares. I say it's a horror movie.
Okay. Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I think we're on the same page there.
Dexter disagreed with me,
He-
and that's why he's grounded.
That's why we threw him in the ocean.
That's right.
With the jellyfish.
Now is it a horror movie? Swim, you son of a bitch!
Yeah, like his point was, I don't really consider it horror because it didn't scare me, but like I didn't say this to him.
Well, he's seen Terrifier, so it's like what scares kids nowadays? Oh, the internet's out. So
well, like you think about Exorcist, that came out, that scared the shit out of people. You think about like going back all the way to Dracula, right? Like those things were scary to people.
Mhm.
Psycho. Who was I talking to the other day? I'm not expecting anyone to answer.
Jeff. Was it Jeff?
I didn't say it. Chelsea said it.
Jeff Talley won.
He was saying that his mom was deathly afraid of getting into the shower after watching Psycho.
I've heard that before.
Not
Not from Jeff.
and like us, I'm like,
I am also
Really?
scared of
Why?
getting in the shower. It is very small. Our shower is very small,
yeah.
and I'm always afraid that I'm going to hit my head while I'm shaving my legs.
I'm afraid that our drain is clogged with hair.
Yes,
And
there are
it's just-
different fears.
It's gonna drown me.
I'm also afraid you're going to stab me
Yeah,
in the shower,
yeah.
dressed as your mother.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're gonna boil my rabbit.
Okay, we will watch Fatal Attraction.
We will. We'll ask my mom to be on, and
Yes,
we'll make her be on
yes,
because that's my mom.
that's
I'll make
her
do it.
movie.
Yeah. Anyways, so anything else as far as Jaws goes?
I don't think so. I think we covered Jaws from nose to tail, and we are finished talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's
I'm
so many.
Spanish, but
What did we watch? Oh, we watched the Minecraft movie, and that's that joke in it. Are you finished? No, I think he's Swedish, but we're all done with our food.
and I was the only person in the theater still laughing 20 minutes later at that
When we
joke.
were driving home. Hopefully we can get Travis as our next guest on, so it'll be whatever movie Travis
Yep.
chooses to watch. So that could be anything. I do know that his family movie growing up was Natural Born Killers. I don't know if he'll want to stick with that or if he'll want to watch something a little lighter.
If you want to do like Holy Grail or Pink Floyd's The Wall, if you want to
Are
do
you
something
just
like that.
are you trying to
If you want to do any of those,
influence his
if you want to
decision?
do Airplane, if you want us to
Oh,
do Kentucky Fried
Are
Movie,
you giving him multiple choice that he's allowed to choose from? We'll make him watch something with a lot of boobs.
Let's see. Let me pull up my IMDb. Yeah. So I think we're gonna try to get Travis. If we don't get Travis,
He's hard to get. He's very busy.
we may do Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which it sounds like it's a scary movie, but it ain't scary at all.
But it is gory.
It is gory. It is a great movie. So I think that's good if we don't get Travis next, but we'll let you know on this show.
Feel
on
free
social media.
to give us suggestions. We are open.
JC Penney.
It's Mervin's.
Oh yeah, well they're both out of business.
Okay,
So,
but you have to get the expired commercial correct.
yeah, it must be TJ Maxx.
Oh no. Do you love it? I love it. I got it at Ross. That was Ross. I realized halfway through that.
Okay, so we will let you know. If you wanna let us know how we're doing. This is only our first real episode talking about a movie.
Our real episode.
Oh my god, Damn it, Chelsea. You're so good at this. Head over to Apple Podcasts. Head over to Spotify. Be sure to rate and review. Let us know how we're doing. Shoot us an email. We don't have an email.
Tell us. You can say, stop. Please stop this.
Yeah, actually, I think we do have an email. I just don't remember what it is. But go to Instagram and go to Bluesky and let us know. And we just really appreciate everybody. We appreciate.
Sure do.
Like you're all fantastic. Whoever's listening, you're fantastic. It doesn't even matter if we know who you are. You're fantastic.
And I hope that we've given you something new to think about when you watch Jaws, even though it's 50 years old. Maybe you haven't heard every single thing about it yet. And thank you, Brandon, for watching Jaws with me.
Oh no, thank you. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You didn't tell me you were going to talk directly to me.
Damn it. No, sorry. No, thank you for watching it with me though. It's still.
You're welcome.
That's better. That's what I should have reacted.
That's the right reaction. Yes.
But last thing we'll say is, again, charity wise, go over to
sharktrust.org.
And if you love sharks, if you're frightened to death of sharks, that's okay. They're majestic creatures, and they've written so many novels and dictionaries.
Think about being a shark, and you're just in your home, and someone jumps through the roof of your home and chops your butt off.
You're watching. You're a shark, and you're watching a movie called Bras.
And they make your butt into a soup. Come on,
oh
people.
My gosh.
Poor sharks.
Butt soup. Oh, we should watch Alive, because they kind of eat butt jerky.
I don't know what that is, but we should watch Dead Alive, which is another comedy. We're gonna not do horror all the time. I promise.
Not all the time. Schindler's List is our next movie.
Oh my God, no! Too sad. Too sad.
But on behalf of me, Brandon Cruz,
Chelsea Cruz,
we thank you all for listening, and we'll hang out next time.
Bite. Got another one. One last one.